God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, be with you and remain with you now and forever.
Hi there everyone, Jack here again at the Vinyl Voyage with another video, and this one's a finds video. I've picked up so many records recently. When I was out on my holiday in Spain, I picked up loads, but on the way down to the airport I hit up a record collection en route to the airport, much to the annoyance of my family as they had to wait outside in the car while I got these absolute gems, but there was no way I was passing these up. So these are records that I picked up prior to flying out to Spain. I've got a load of records to show in upcoming videos and a lot of ideas for new videos, but this one is a finds video, and it's a bit of an eclectic selection. This one real Beatles rarity, and then a mishmash of other rare albums, I suppose. Some of them are pretty rare. Now, before I show you the Beatles rarity, I'm not a collector of Beatles rarities. I wouldn't go out of my way normally to buy a rare album, or I wouldn't spend a lot of money on a rare Beatles album. I know that there's people who are focused on that all the time, but when one lands in my lap, I'm not going to say no to it. So that's basically what's happened here. I got it for a really good price, so I couldn't pass this up. But let me show you what it is I got. So it's the Beatles' first album, Please Please Me, a mono copy, and a sleeve that's in pretty good condition. There's some creases to the laminate, but it's all intact. There's no splits. You can read all the spine. It's in fairly good condition. It's obviously one of these flip back sleeves, so it's a UK early press. You can see that there's some damage to the sleeve. It's a bit duffed up on the rear, but overall pretty good. But yeah, the reason it's a rare copy of this album is that it's on the very early Parlophone label, this black and gold Parlophone label, and you can see just from the spindle alone that this has seen some parties, it's seen some play. I think is this from '63, this album, so it's an old album. And the vinyl itself, on side one there's a load of hairlines, there's a lot of marks. And on side two there's a big scuff and a few scratches, which aren't feelable. But the miraculous thing about this album and all the early Beatles albums that I've got lots of mono early Beatles albums. The amazing thing is that even when an album looks like this, it still plays brilliantly. There's no skips, there's no jumps, there's a bit of crackle, but when the music starts, it sounds phenomenal. So yeah, really bizarre. I don't know how they made the records in the past, why they were so different to records nowadays, but you know, a record like this, a modern record that looked like this would just be jumping all over the place and would sound terrible, but this still sounds really good. I don't believe this is a first press, so like I said, I'm not an expert on Beatles rarities, but I think the thing to look at on here is the publishing rights. And on the very early versions they have Dick James Music Company, and this one has a mixture of Northern Songs Limited and Dick James Music Company. So I believe this is a crossover press where it has a label from the first press and it has a label from the second press, but still a very early one. And yeah, this just kind of fell into my lap, I suppose. So a nice addition to the collection. You don't see these obviously very often, so really nice to pick this up. And overall in very playable condition. And at present all I have is a reissue. I've got various CDs of Please Please Me, and I've got a reissue I think from 2015 on vinyl. So yeah, really pleased to pick this up. So I think a second press mono of the Beatles Please Please Me. So it was a fantastic pickup. The next one, an album that I've loved since a teenager. I've got on CD but I've never had on vinyl, and it is the absolutely amazing The Madcap Laughs by Syd Barrett from 1970. It's on Harvest label. But yeah, I love Sid. He's my favourite of Pink Floyd. I think he was the real creative driving force behind Pink Floyd. My favourite Pink Floyd albums are the early albums that featured Sid, obviously the first album, and then to a lesser degree Saucer Full of Secrets. But this is brilliant, very sparse, a bit folky, but lots of kind of psychedelic pop moments in there as well. And this is a beautiful copy. Lovely cover. You can see some laminate lift on the back, unfortunately. Yeah, great track listing. Fantastic artwork by Hypnosis. You can see Sid in his flat with these really cool floorboards, which have just recently sold for, I think, about 150,000. They were lifted from his old flat and sold. His lady friend sitting ready for him on that stool. But yeah, just great tracks on here. I love Octopus, which was the first single. There's really good. Terrapin's fantastic as well. And as much as this is a solo album, it's got Pink Floyd fingerprints all over it. Roger Waters produces it with David Gilmour. David Gilmour plays on a number of the tracks. He plays bass and 12-string. Some of Soft Machine play on this as well. I think Robert White plays drums on a number of the songs. Yeah, really, really good. He sticks in a little bit of literary reference in there as well. I've shown you that with that James Joyce poem Golden Hair that he puts music to. But I believe this is a second press, so it's not a first. The first would have no boxed EMI logo above Harvest. I think this is a second. And a very, very, very nice copy it is too. In fact, this is in lovely condition. Sounds fantastic. I've not actually given this a clean yet, and it still sounds excellent, so I was really pleased to get this one. I don't actually have any Sid on vinyl, so I was tempted to buy the box set that Third Man Records brought out last year and ended up not buying it. But yeah, love this album, so a fantastic addition. Next then, something a little bit different. So the next one is an album from '68, but we're moving into a bit of rock steady here. So this is Let's Catch the Beat by Brother Dan Allstars. So Brother Dan Allstars was really a pseudonym for the British/Jamaican singer Dandy Livingstone. So you would know Dandy Livingstone from the song Message to You, Rudy. He did it originally. I think he wrote it before the Specials did their kind of famous cover of it. But this is Dandy Livingstone's third album from 1968, and this is absolutely beautiful. What an amazing copy of this, which is really unbelievable to find something like this, because usually the Trojan albums, they're not in the best nick. But yeah, this is absolutely lovely condition. The record itself is immaculate. Check out those labels. A couple of very light spindle marks. I don't think this has hardly seen any play at all. But yeah, this is lovely, laid back, reggae, kind of organ led. And Dandy Livingstone's just got that lovely, soulful reggae voice, I think. Really, really nice delivery. It's interesting reading a little bit about him before making this video. He was born in Kingston, Jamaica. He moved to the UK when he was 15, but he was actually a record salesman as a young man prior to then moving into a little bit of record production, and that got his foot in the door in the music industry. And when he first started recording in his flat, he tried to pass himself off as a musical duo, and what he did was he double tracked his vocals to try and make it look like he was part of a musical duo. But yeah, this is great, really, really good. You've got the song Dream on there. I think the song was a Buddy Holly song. But yeah, just really easy to get into, really laid back. And it says here it is, Let's Catch the Beat, another album from Brother Dan Allstars, which is bound to repeat the fantastic success of their last LP. So I think that's a bit of a lie, because I believe his first two LPs didn't sell well, because in the late 60s, Trojan and reggae music as a whole was a single-based industry. They sold their singles well, but the LPs didn't sell well. So when this was released, it was put out as a kind of bargain priced LP at 99 pence to try and break Trojan into the LP market. It says, these versatile musicians who never seem to be out of the Jamaican hit parade bring you 12 numbers packed with the infectious West Indian beat, which will make you want to dance and keep on dancing. So lose the blues, catch the beat, and dance all night. Yeah, absolutely brilliant stuff. Love this. Catch the Beat, Brother Dan Allstars on Trojan from 68. Okay, another beauty. It's Aphrodite's Child with their third album from 1970, I think, 666, on the Vertigo label. So unfortunately, this is not a UK first press. It's a UK second press. I think if it's a first press, the writing here is aligned a little bit differently, and this is on the Spaceship label, not on the kind of iconic swirl. But yeah, it's really nice to pick up this second press, UK second press. It's a fantastic album, lovely double LP, and it's a beautiful gatefold in great condition. Really nice. I love Aphrodite's Child, a great three-piece. Obviously Vangelis, prior to him moving on to all the kind of synth work that he was famous for in the 70s, soundtracks and all that kind of thing, and Demis Roussos, before he became just a massive housewife's favourite, a Medallion Man. Yeah, this is in nice condition. You can see those iconic Spaceship labels. Some great songs on here. It's a bit of a mixture, this, if you know this album. It's a mixture between instrumentals. It's mostly instrumental tracks, but some great kind of poppier songs. The song Babylon's my favourite. Demis Roussos, his vocals are unbelievable, but his bass line in that with all the brass flourishes, it's just such a joyous song. I love it. Four Horsemen, it's a bit more sinister, as is The Seventh Seal, and overall it is quite a sinister, creepy album. This a kind of an album all about the end of days, about the book of Revelation. But yeah, really cool stuff. Break is good as well. It's another more poppier song. But yeah, good stuff. I've actually got a copy of this already, but I couldn't leave this behind. I've got an Italian first press Vertigo swirl, so it's now weighing up which one sounds better between the Italian first press or the UK second press. I really like that Italian swirl, so I may end up keeping that, or may end up keeping both. There we go. Aphrodite's Child, 666. A lovely kind of mixture of prog and psychedelia. Next, another one that I've actually already got, and this is a major upgrade. So this is The Sound of 65 by the Graham Bond organisation. And this is absolutely fantastic, kind of tough R&B with just demented, crazy saxophone running through it. Really good. Now I've got a reissue of this from the early 2000s, which is really nice reissue, but this is a first press mono, and again in beautiful condition. The only one issue with it is you've got this little crease in the laminate, but other than that, you know, the beautiful flip black sleeve. Let's write up with that about the band. There's lots of cool songs on here, traditional songs like Wade in the Water. Was it Wade in Water? Got My Mojo Working, Hoochie Coochie by Willie Dixon. Yeah, lots of really cool stuff. But I don't know if you know Graham Bond organisation. They were led by Graham Bond, who played the organ. Then you had, what was his name? You had a brilliant rhythm section. You had Jack Bruce on bass and Ginger Baker on drums prior to going to Cream. And yeah, they sound fantastic on here. It's funny at the back here, I'm just reading this here, it says good looking Jack Bruce lays the solid foundation of bass guitar as well as harmonica and vocals. Doesn't say anything about the good looking Ginger Baker, he doesn't get that. But Dick Hextall Smith plays the saxophone, and he plays a very mean saxophone. But yeah, a bit of a mix of blues, jazz, R&B, really, really good. And all these musicians, they all come out of the Alexis Corona Blues Incorporated from the early 60s, from like 60, 62, 63, as did lots of blues musicians from the time. I'll just show you that this is on EMI, Columbia. Look at that, it's beautiful condition as well. So this is like a major upgrade. And an album that I really, really like. Fantastic album. So very, very pleased to pick this one up. And the last one then is an album that I didn't know prior to buying, and it is King Crimson's third album, Lizard, from 1970. And I'm not a massive authority on King Crimson, other than in the court of the Crimson King. I don't think I've heard overly much King Crimson, but I really, really enjoyed this. And when I read a bit about the album prior to listening to it, because I listened to it quite a lot when I was in Spain, it said that it was quite a divisive album in terms of the fan base, that a lot of King Crimson fans didn't like this, that it was a departure from their earlier sound and a bit of an outlier within their canon. Now, because I don't know so much King Crimson, for me it's not an outlier, for me it's just King Crimson, and I really enjoyed this. It has, again, this sounds quite demented as well. The first side is very dense, a real mixture of rock, jazz influences. There's a lot of like heavy jazzers playing on this album, and I think the lineup was very different, or it's a new lineup compared to previous albums from King Crimson. Keith Tippett was a famous UK jazzer, Nick Evans on trombone, Mark Charrigan cornet. But then you've also got other additions to the band. You've got John Anderson of Yes singing on side 2. You've got this musical suite here, Lizard. In the first part of this, Prince Rupert Awakes, he sings on that, and that's probably my favourite song on the album. That's probably the most psychedelic track on there. There's amazing guitar from Robert Fripp, and yeah, it's just a really trippy song. I love the chorus. He sings, "Wake your reasons, hollow vote, wear your blizzard season coat, burn a bridge and burn a boat, stake a lizard by the throat." It's got a great chorus. It's really trippy guitars. But then you've got this song here, Happy Family, which is a really interesting song as well. It's I think a bit of an allegory for the breakup of the Beatles. And the Beatles they pay homage to the Beatles here as well. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see. You can see, let's see, yeah, up here. So you can see George Harrison in the lotus position, drinking something. You've got you've got Ringo wearing these clown pants. You've got Paul over here, and then John with what looks like a lamp, and it looks like kind of Yoko Ono genie coming out of the lamp. So I think that's quite cool. I love this artwork. It's lots of really cool little illustrations down here as well. You can see Jimi Hendrix, Ginger Baker, and I think that's Peter Gabriel playing the flute. And then up here you've got that little prick, Rupert the Bear. I hate Rupert the Bear. I always hated Rupert the Bear, so I was a bit disappointed to see him on this album cover. But yeah, I love this album art, and I've really enjoyed listening to this album so far. It's not the normal kind of thing that I would listen to, I suppose, but that song, or that opening part of the side 2 track, Lizard, really got me. I really loved that, and I've been getting more into the kind of jazzier side 1. Yeah, great stuff. King Crimson, Lizard. And that's me. That's what I picked up prior to getting on the airplane. I was really pleased with those buys. I got them for a great price, and yeah, fantastic additions to the collection. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed seeing those albums. If you've got any comments to make on any of them, especially from the Beatles one that I showed. I said I'm not an expert on Beatles pressings, I find them quite confusing. There's so many different editions, but maybe someone like Beatle Dave would know the ins and outs of that particular pressing, or likewise the King Crimson. If you've got any information on any of these albums, or you enjoy them yourself, drop it in the comments. I would love to hear what you've got to say about them. As I said at the very start of the video, I've got so many new albums to show. I picked up loads in Spain, so I'm really looking forward to showing those albums over the next couple of weeks as well, and the shops that I visited while I was in Barcelona, because it was such a great city for record shops. It really was. I had an absolute blast out there. So for the month of November, I'm slowing down the spending because I can't keep going on at this rate. I'm going to slow down the spending a bit and just, again, get back to enjoying the music that I've bought, because I've got a lot of stuff to get through and kind of fully absorb. And some of the things that I bought prior to going to Spain, I've not fully absorbed yet either. So you don't want to kind of race ahead with your buying and not really enjoy the things that you've already bought. So that's probably what I'll be doing with my November, unless a massive fantastic collection comes up, and then I'll just be in full buying mode again. But we'll wait and see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, I'll see you later. Bye for now.